Welcome friends, welcome to my channel Wasim Academy. Friends, after a long time, today I bring a new notes about the history of the semester 2 for the Bardwan, Kalyani and Calcutta University, the Harsha period of the 606 to 1206, the durations of the 606 to 1206. So let's start the Harsha period. It is called the Harshvardhana. First of all, I'll explain the brief history about the Harshvardhana. Harshvardhana, it's the reigning time, the 606 to 747. It is the most influential age of the Harshvardhana at the time. From the Brahmaputra, the eastern Punjab, from the Himalaya of the Narmada, the important ruler, it was called the Harshvardhana, was the last Hindu king of the North India. Okay, Harshvardhana is also known as the last Hindu king of the northern India. He belonged to the Pishabhukti family who ruled in Thanesar in north of the Delhi. He established a strong empire by conquering the Bengal, Malwa, eastern Rajasthan, then entire Gangetic plain up to the Assam. Okay. तो इस वीडियो में हम लोग देखेंगे हर्षवर्धना के बारे में, जो जिसका जो रेनिंग टाइम है 606 से लेकर के 647 तक। ये जो कैपिटल अपना कायम करता है इन कन्नौज इन उत्तर प्रदेश। हिज टाइटल इज दैट शिलादित्य। ओके, शिलादित्य, एंड ही रोट द नागनंदा। ओके, एंड हिज पोएट वाज बाण भट्ट हु रोट द हर्ष चरित्र। ओके, and Kadmabari, and Shashanska and Harshvardhana were known the contemporary ruler. Okay, and he recognized the donations camp in every 5 years at Prayag, and he defeated the Pulkishans too on the bank of the river of the Narmada. Foreign traveler visited at the time of the Harshvardhana. It was called the Himansang. Its administrative rule, Harshvardhana moved his capital from Thanesar to Kannauj, and he personally supervised all businesses in the state. The empire was divided into provinces called the Bhukti and put under the charge of the governors called the Bhuktis. The Bhuktis were further divided into districts called the Visyas and Tehsils or Pathaks and villages or gramas. A large army was mentioned during his reign. After that, his economic development, the main source of his income were the land taxes and revenue paid by the kings whose land had been conquered. Soldiers were also sent by them when the king was also fight for the war. Harshvardhana was religions is initially a Hindu, but later on he converted into Buddhism, and he was, however, tolerant towards all religions. His society was no pradha system, but sati was prevalent. Okay. At the time of his literature, the Harshvardhana and his court poet Ban Bhatt wrote the Harsh Charitra. Okay, and Heman Sang, foreign traveler visiting at the time of the Harshvardhana. Heman Sang was a Chinese traveler who stayed in India during the reign of the Harshvardhana, and he wrote a detailed account on the India as a witness, and he described the India as a hot-tempered but honest, and observed that there was no death sentences at the time. And he studied at Nalanda Buddhist University and a famous center of the Buddhism, which flourished during the Harshvardhana period. He stayed in India for 8 years. I explain about son Ban Bhatta, one of the 4 poets of the Harshvardhana, wrote the Harsh Charitra, a biography of the king. Okay, the history of the Harshvardhana is constructed from the study of these 2 works. Okay, Harsh Charitra and Kadmabari. So this is the very small descriptions of the Harshvardhana. And Harshvardhana is also known as the Shiladitya, extended the throne at the 606 AD. from this year. Harsha made the Kannauj his capital, and early history of the Harsha reigns the constructed from the study of the book Harsha Charitra. Okay, this is the small descriptions and small sub points about where the short questions were asked. Okay, just we have to observe them. The next video I will send the full explain about the other rulers. Just I explain about the Chalukya dynasty in this video. The Chalukya dynasties were started at the 6th century CE to 12th century CE, Christian era, and also ever the Deccan and the famous ruler of this dynasties were. Okay, in Chalukya's dynasty there are two main kings. Okay, Pulakshi I and Pulakshi II. It is also called the Pulkeshian I and Pulkeshian II. Pulkeshian I, his reigning time was the 543 to 567, was the first independent ruler of the Badami with Bapti Bijapur as a capital. Okay, Badami dynasty. The Chalukya dynasty of the Bapti. Bapti and Badami, it is the same place name. And Pulkeshian II, at the time of his reigning time was the 610 to 642. The grandson of the Pulkeshian I was a contemporary of the Harshvardhana and the most famous of the Chalukyan kings, and he increases his kingdom by the annexing the entire Andhra kingdom. And this the Chalukya dynasties of the Badami or Bapti, this dynasty belongs to the South India. Okay, especially in the Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, and some parts of the Maharashtra, South Indian states. And he defeated the Harshvardhana on the bank of the river Narmada. However, the Palwa king of the Nara Simbharaman attacked the Pulkeshian II in the CE 642 and captured his capital of the Bapti. Pulkeshian II and Vinayaditya and Vikramaditya are its two important rulers. Okay, the Chalukya's dynasty's capital is the Bapti, founder of the Pulkeshians I, and it is the most greatest ruler of the Pulkeshians II in Dakshim Pathanat. This place is also located in the Andhra Pradesh, who was a contemporary of the Harshavardhana. His court poet was Ravi Kriti, who wrote the Ahilya inscription. Pulkeshians I, he is considered as the founder of the Chalukya dynasties with the Badami and Bapti as his capital. Okay, and Kirtivarman II was the last Chalukya ruler who was defeated by the Danti Durga, the founder of the Rashtrakuta dynasty. These are some important descriptions about the Chalukya dynasty. Now we read some. I will explain the Rashtrakuta or Chola dynasty. Rashtrakuta, one of the founder of the Danti Durga, his capital was Malkad, greatest ruler of the Krishna Devs. Okay, and their king was Krishna Dev III. Last ruler Amuk Sarva IV. The imperial Chola. The Chola dynasty extends of the empire. The Tamil dynasty's ruler over the Madras and the parts of the Karnataka with the Tanjore at their capital. Okay, Tanjore its capital. His founder was Vijayawalya. Raja I or Vijayawalya was the founder of the Chola dynasty. Rajendra Chola and the son of the Raja I, okay, was the important ruler of this dynasty who conquered the Odisha, Bengal, Burma, and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. The Chola dynasty was the zenith during his reign. Okay, and his political setup was very interesting. The king was the central head who was held by the council of the ministers, but the administration was democratic. Land revenue and trade tax were the main income source. And this society is divided into Brahmins and the non-Brahmins. The temple was cultural and social center where art and literature flourished. The Brideshwar Shiva temple at Tanjavur was built by the Raja I. The giant statue of the Gomatswara at the Sharva Belongola was built during this period. But these dynasties are not being the last long, but declinations were started, and Malik Kafur invaded the Tamil state in the CE 1310 and extinguishing the Chola Empire. Next, I will explain the short description about the Arab conquest. Okay, how the Arab conquest and how the Muslims were came in India. Muhammad bin Qasim in 712 conquered the Sindh, which became the province of the Umayyad Khalifa. Okay, and this include the Muslims period 1000 to 707 at the end of the Aurangzeb, end of the Mughal dynasty. The Muslims rulers started India at the time of the 1000s approximately and ends with the after the death of the Aurangzeb 707, which is started with the raids of the Mahmud Ghazni and establishment of the Sultanate of the Delhi. First of all, we read about the Sultan Mahmud of Ghazni. Okay, it is about the 17 expeditions to India was twin objective to separate the Islam in India and enrich himself the taking away and reign over the India. And he attacked and raided the most celebrated the Hindu temple Somnath. Okay. After that, the Mahmud Gauri was invaded India, led to the foundations of the Muslims' dominion in India, and he made the considered as the founder of the Muslim ruler, and through the two battles with Prithvi Raj Chauhan, the first battle of the Tarain, which is fought in the 11-19-21, and second battle of Tarain in 11-19-92. It is believed that the Jai Chandra and supported the Prithviraj Chauhan, and this battle he invaders who had been easily defeated. Later on, the Prithviraj was executed. So charges of the conspiracy. Mahmud then made Gola, the son of the Prithviraj and puppet king, and deputed his trusted servant of the Qutbuddin Aibak to take care of the administrations. And he went to back to the Central Asia but returned to the India at 1204. So Sultan Mahmud Ghazni about the 17 expeditions to India to win the objectives, and also he is the most dominant king of the Indian ruling times. And after the end of these dynasties, the Delhi Sultanate will start the 1206. Okay, so these are the some important descriptions about the Delhi Sultanate. So friends, keep watching, and any problem please comment, and please subscribe this channel for those who are in undergraduate courses. Okay, thank you friends, thanks.